I'm Scott Fishman.
I'm John Dwoskin.
And this is the 7-Minute Salesman.
Welcome, everybody.
Hey, John, how are you?
Fish, good morning. How are you?
Doing great.
Hello, everybody in the 7-Minute community. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, John, let's mess with the space-time continuum a little bit because we just recorded a bite-sized one where we alluded to this episode.
Yeah.
And this episode might actually air before that bite-sized one. So
all right,
it's going to be a little bit of back to the future here, John. So we were talking about getting reps in and role-playing and how the importance of or just discussing the importance of role-playing and how much it can actually increase your conversion.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add a little twist to that.
All right, let's do it. It can double your business.
Yes.
I mean, statistically, role-playing absolutely can double your business if you do it every day.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when we're doing a role play, what I see people do is the salesman, the salesperson, the saleswoman will stand up, give their presentation, and whoever they're role playing with will give them softballs because they know what the sales process is. They know how to lead it. So it's almost like they're breadcrumbing it down the path to getting the sale. We take it easy on each other. And then if you say, make it hard on me, then we're just like total assholes to each other and giving like the crazy objections that like we'll never actually hear. Like one of my favorite ones, if I had a male loan officer that I was role playing with, I would say, you know what, everything sounds good so far, but I really don't want to work with a man.
Yeah.
And then like, what do you do? Like, it's like, holy shit, like you take a step back. You haven't trained for that objection. It totally pulls you out of your game and like you flub everything. Yeah. So I don't like being too easy or too hard. I want to get it just right. And I have a little trick that we can do to make that work.
Let's do it.
I call it the reverse role play, John.
Okay, let's do it. Let me just, can I comment one thing on role playing? I'm a big fan of role playing, and role playing is something that everybody should do every single day. I promote it all the time in my coaching business. Whether people own a company, they're a salesperson, it doesn't matter. And to me, one of the key things is to have a role play culture. So this isn't just kind of like do it and be done, but it's make the culture of your company that in which you're always doing these types of, whether it's 30-second or 1-minute role plays, because that's how people learn. And so it is proven. You can Google it. We could go into a ton of stats right now. But if you do this, you will absolutely double your business. I was talking to a CEO the other day, and he was saying that he never role plays with his people and this and the other. And I said, well, you should. He said, nope, it's not in my DNA. This guy was like 65. And it was such a mistake. And And I think most people are uncomfortable, and they'll say, well, I don't want to make the other person uncomfortable, when really you're just uncomfortable. Right. So you got to stretch yourself, and this is a necessity in business today. I just wanted to kind of point that out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you and I both used to work in the restaurant business, and if you think about going to a fine dining establishment and the waitress or waiter comes up to you and is going over the specials of the day. Yeah. And how are they selling that? If they don't role play that, they're going to be like, yeah, it's the Cajun halibut is the special of the day. If they role played what was actually rolled out to them by the chef, it would be it's a halibut caught in this, body of water, sauteed in this with a cream sauce that's made from this with this herb, and it's totally different, right? Yeah. So you can tell who role plays, you could tell who actually writes things down, you could tell who actually takes the pride in their business. Versus saying, yeah, the soup today is broccoli cheese.
It's funny on your thing earlier, you just made me remember this. I hadn't thought about this in a while, but, you're talking about when we waited tables in college at Ruby Tuesday, and there was a guy that came in. I can't remember if you remember this guy. He would never let a male waiter wait on him. Do you remember that guy?
I do remember him.
And so there was a time when he came in, it was packed, and the only section was mine. And so whoever the role play, the manager was, I can visualize who it was, but I can't remember their name. And I role played. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to say? You said, listen, this is, well, anyway, long story short, we role played it. And he's like, I need a female waitress. I said, there's no female waitresses available right now. this is, da 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 da. And, but I role played the whole scenario I remember like it was yesterday, based on what you said earlier about mortgage
We should
brokers.
post pictures of him so ladies stay away from his van.
Seriously. All right. So jump in, Fish. Let's go. Let's get started.
So the reverse role play is fairly simple. It's not rocket science. Basically what it is if I'm going to be selling you in a regular role play in the standard, you give me objections, I'm going to acknowledge them, I'm going to give you my rebuttal, and I'm either going to pivot to the next question or I'm going to close. That would be how a standard role play would work. What we're going to do is I would be the customer. So I wanted to role play this, but I'm going to be my customer because I know my customer better than the guy sitting next to me. I'm going to know what the customer's hot buttons are, objections are going to be, what it's going to take to get their business. You're going to be the salesperson in that respect. You're the guy sitting next to me that would normally be playing the customer and just giving me those softball objections. Right. You're going to be the salesperson. You're going to sell me because if we're selling the same product, pretty much you know the product, you know the benefits, you know the features. So you're going to sell me and I'm going to hit you with what I think my prospect is actually going to object to. And the reason we're doing that, there's a couple of reasons. One, I'm getting psychologically into my customer's head more. I'm learning what they're gonna come up with. I might be coming up with things during this role play that I didn't even think about that they had concerns about before I started this, because we don't know where this is going to lead. The other thing, once we get through this, and one of the keys is not to stop in the middle, to make it from beginning to end. I'm going to see how you would be selling this prospect as well. And I'm going to learn. I'm going to see what I like that you did and what I don't like that you did, so I can use that when I actually make my presentation. Make sense?
So in summary, you're the sales, but you are the customer. Yes. Right. And so to break it down even more, when someone you're working with is having issues and they need to call the customer. Instead, where most people would say, okay, role play, here's what you tell the customer. Fish, if it's you, for example, hey, and I'm your manager. Hey, go tell the customer this and ask them this. And then that person goes off and tries to say it. Mm-hmm. Versus sitting down and say, hey, what do I say to the customer? Okay, well, you be the customer. I'm going to ask you so you can get into the customer's head. Yes. And then you're being able to really look at this from more of a multidimensional standpoint.
Exactly. Right. You're seeing the whole picture. And you can even do this on your own. It's just like people play chess against each other. Yeah. You've seen that where they just spin the board around. You can actually do this on your own. It's a lot more fun when you're doing it with someone else. And you will open your mind a hell of a lot more when you see how one of your contemporaries is actually going to sell this prospect as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's so important. And I think it's so important. And then, to me, I think another extension of that exercise is then to do what you originally planned on doing, is you be the salesperson and then the customer. So just talk on that for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Because now you've got the multifaceted thing. You've gotten into your prospect's head. You've heard how your contemporary would have sold this prospect. You've learned from their mistakes and things they've done well, things they probably did better than you in some respects, because everyone's got their own superpower. So now you're able to take that and build your sale off of, number one, knowing what the prospect is thinking, hopefully, knowing what your buddy actually came up with, and knowing what pitfalls your buddy fell into that you could avoid. So now we've got an entirely different script than we would have had we just gone in and role played, and your buddy said, oh, I have to talk to my spouse, and then you gave him the canned response. And then, I don't want to do this until after the first, and you gave him the canned response. This way you actually know how it's going to go.
Yeah. I love it. And so how often should people be doing this, Vish?
Well, 15 times a day, 20 times a day, one time a day. The importance is that you actually do it.
Right.
This is just like everything else. There's a lot of things that we talk about that I guarantee people never put into practice.
Correct.
Just getting off your ass and doing something is going to be helpful.
And I just want to say, because I think one of the, if not a few of the most difficult things for many people, specifically salespeople, is A, ask for help. B, turn that help into a role play because they think it's uncomfortable. They don't want to stretch themselves. Yeah. And you can quantifiably do your own equation that if you role play and get up 1 time to 15 times a day and do 30-second to 1-minute role plays with whomever in this scenario that we're talking about, you will be able to, at the end of the year or monthly, quantifiably see a major difference in your pipeline/pocketbook.
John,
100%.
I challenge you. I think you would see, if people actually took it seriously, you would see it almost instantaneously.
It is critical, and the most important thing is, because Fish and I can't make you do it, but you gotta get off your ass and make it happen, and get up and walk over to someone and say, hey, can we do a role play, reverse role play, and then the original role play, and take notes, and then go make the call.
Yeah. How crazy is that? Ask for help. Go figure.
Yeah. a lot easier said than done. Ask for help, everybody. You'll grow your business and your mindset. Yeah. It's hard. I think it's hard to ask for help. I mean, it's something that, is challenging for many, many people, but just start today.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Now, no excuses. It's time to put everything you listen to into action. Stop bullshitting yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Stop listening and doing nothing with this information. Take this information, implement it into your day, kick some ass, grow your business, grow your sales, make more money, have more fun, have a better life, period, the end.
What he said.